everybody, this is Les Nesquik with FUX Radio, and you are listening to the Breaking Hyman podcast with Lori and Morgan. Yes. Okay. All right. So you were asking me about Back to the Future. Yes, that is probably. I consider the trilogy probably one of my top 5 favorite movies, movies,
right,
whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Are you a big fan?
I am a fan.
Yes.
Like, I don't have any memorabilia.
Oh, that's I have a bathroom.
And
It's my bathroom to the future. I have posters. The Gray Sports Almanac cover is my bath mat.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was from Back to the Future.
Yes, Grace. That's from Back to the Future too, and Biff takes it, and that's how Biff becomes Donald Trump.
All right. Yeah.
Because it's funny because in the original script that. Zemeckis and I cannot think of the guy's name that wrote the screenplay, but they wrote it to where Biff goes on because he basically knows who wins all these games for 50 years. From 55 to 2000, he becomes the president, and they're like, "That's stupid. let's just make him the guy who owns a casino and basically runs Hill Valley." And and
who could imagine?
Who would imagine that?
Yes,
and then,
besides
hey,
the
you know what?
Simpsons.
31 years later, The Simpsons. Yeah, they predicted that. Which, it's so funny. But no, Back to the Future. I love that shit. I love just how the generations, and it also implies that a white guy invented rock and roll, not
right.
Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry didn't invent rock and roll, but he was one of the progenitors. Right. Yeah, but it's pretty funny.
Johnny, go.
Yeah, I love those fucking movies. But yeah, we were going to talk about
one.
Oh
is,
yeah,
I was going to say it's the only one I've seen more than once.
Oh shit, I have seen all of them so many times.
Like once, so I don't remember a lot. Than the gist.
Well, maybe we'll have to do an episode where we watch them and talk about them because.
Right?
As a person who has seen them so many times, there's stuff that I probably take for granted.
Right.
Okay. We're going to talk about Baby Reindeer though today.
Oh, I'm so
my name is Morgan. This is Lori. Lori Amber. How do you want me to introduce you?
That's Lori Amber.
Lori Amber. I'm Morgan Hyman. I think I'm going to call. I sort of want this to be sort of my thing. I'd like you to do it with me, but I think I want to call it the Breaking Hyman podcast.
Okay.
Or Breaking Hyman with Lori Amber.
My
name and your name.
Yeah, I don't need my name.
Well, one of my favorite podcasts, and I was actually watching it before you got here while I was eating my breakfast brunch, whatever. It's called it's Ian Fidance and Jordan Jensen. It's called Being Ian with Jordan. So I just like the male-female dynamic of that, and I'm not as funny. I'm not as funny as Ian. You're not as funny as Jordan, but hey, you know what? We can get there.
I'm not as funny as Morgan.
Oh, fuck you! You're funny. But we're going to talk about Baby Reindeer today. How long did you watch it? It's only been out, what, a month or two?
Yeah.
Did you watch it, immediately?
No, I don't remember what I was watching first.
Yeah.
When it came out, but it was I finished whatever and then watched it after.
Well, I didn't know what the fuck it was, because there's this movie that came out a few years ago called White Reindeer, and that was kind of a fucked up movie about a woman who goes through a traumatic experience. It's kind of a dark comedy. I'd recommend it. I liked it. And then, but this is a whole ass series about a real dude. Yeah. And he plays himself. Yeah, basically. He changed the name. I think he fictionalized. I thought it was great. 7 episodes, about 30 minutes. Not an easy show to watch, but it goes down pretty quickly.
The episodes are relatively
they're short. Yeah.
But you had asked me if it was funny, and I was like, no.
It has humor
funny.
in it.
Yes.
There's the ridiculousness of Martha, because we've all known people like that. Not well, hopefully.
Right. I mean, I've known people that I thought could become that way.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I mean, there's definitely people in and around the comedy scene in Lubbock that I'm like, you're fucking weird. I'm gonna keep you at arm's length. Chris Heist. No, God, no. No, I love Chris Heist.
No, Chris scares me far less than.
Oh God, no. He's the least scary person. If you just saw him on stage, you're like, holy shit. Then when you talk to him, it's like, oh, he's just a skinny, hairy
quiet.
teddy bear.
Yeah, so quiet.
I love that dude.
Yeah, I do too. Like, he's so funny.
But yeah, I don't think there's any legit stalkers in the Lubbock comedy scene. Just some socially awkward people that maybe, you know.
That is so crazy.
Seek some help.
That, like, there is a lot of mental illness.
Well, that's what makes people funny.
Right.
You can see the weird fucked up shit. Like, my stuff comes from, like, being raised in church and strict upbringing.
Fucked up shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I wasn't raped by a priest or anything. I mean, but yet, I mean, you know what? I might have consensual sex with a priest. Do they have lady priests? Trans priests?
They do have lady
Episcopals.
I don't know.
You know what? I don't even know why I asked that, because a preacher, a Methodist, a female Methodist minister, did my great grandmother's funeral, and I looked over at my parents. I was raised Church of Christ, and that is not a thing in the Church of Christ, but.
No. Everything is not a thing in Church of Christ.
Yeah, no, nothing. Church of Christ, if you can imagine, like, all every church is like, don't do this, don't do this. Church of Christ is like, don't do anything.
Yeah.
Don't dance, don't drink,
pray.
don't smoke.
Put your eyes down. Do not look people in the eye.
Don't dress sexy, you know. I was one of the women in the church that I grew up at almost dressed like Pentecostal, like holiness. Like the
Mennonites?
Yeah, not quite. They would wear makeup and stuff. They'd make themselves like look attractive, but you're like, I think I could fuck her. You know?
Right.
But they had the long hair, the longest fucking hair. We'd have these gospel meetings, which essentially was just like they'd rent out a convention center or something and have like 600 to 800, maybe 1,000 people and multiple speakers. It was like Church Fest 2000, and they would get a block of hotel rooms and for the people to stay in that were coming from out of town, and all of the drains would get clogged because the women did not cut their hair. Swear to God. Sulphur, Oklahoma. It's a town. They still do a 4th of July thing, and there were only like less than a dozen, half a dozen hotels in that town, and they would they would like prepare. They're like, okay, get the Drano, the Church of Christies are coming.
Right. Is there a, what was the name of the town?
Sulphur, Oklahoma. It smells like there's
Springs?
sulfur mines. Sulphur Springs is a different place,
Okay.
but it's right outside the Chickasaw State Park or whatever. We'd like go swimming, but the boys would wear like shorts and basically what I'm wearing now,
a t-shirt,
and the girls would like sometimes wear. One year there was a girl in a one piece, and everybody, she wasn't like a member, but she was friends with them. Everybody's like scandalous, like, did you hear what's her name's friend was wearing a real bathing suit?
Is that about the time you started to break away from?
Oh God, no! I didn't break away from religion entirely till I was damn near 30. I married a preacher's daughter.
Are you atheist?
Agnostic, apathetic, which is weird because I'm talking to this like lady online on one of the dating apps that's like super churchy, but she's black, so she's like probably liberal, and it's cool. Like church isn't a thing. It doesn't occupy the same space in the black community that I have seen in my experiences.
Right.
But yeah, so but Baby Reindeer though, huh?
Right, it's compelling.
Yeah, what was we never really talked about your religious upbringing. Did you have any?
No. When we were my parents are both believers, and they were raised Baptist or some typical
some bullshit.
Yeah, some typical stuff, and they're both still. But the only time growing up that we went to church was when we lived in the hills, when we were hillbillies, pioneers, whatever. Because it was literally the only social Yeah. Activity for mountain folk.
That's how it was
Besides
for
school.
my ex-wife, because they were mostly in Wyoming, and her dad like was the preacher, and they'd like load up the car, but they were homeschooled. The kids were homeschooled, so like
yeah,
a lot of I don't like the whole homeschool communities. People have asked me like when
I've met one really cool homeschool.
I was homeschooled for fuck's sake. That's another reason.
The whole
no, just junior high and high school. So, but yeah,
wow. They really did not want you to get laid.
Oh, God, no. I lost my virginity to my ex-wife. Before we were married, though, I'm not a total
bad
fucking
boy.
nerd. Yeah. But when we were to the point where we were like, well, we want to fuck a lot. And if we fuck a lot...
then we really should go ahead and get married.
And then we just never had kids, which was awesome.
Right?
I'd recommend never having kids.
I recommend it too.
Yeah, and as a person who has a child.
Yes.
Well, one and done though. You didn't make the same mistake twice.
Oh no, I can't.
I'm sure you love the little bastard. Well, yeah, I mean you're legally married to his father, so he's not a bastard.
Oh, dude.
Little legitimate child.
Yes, that's the thing. Like everyone in my family. I am, as far as I know, the only member of my extended family that ever planned to have a child.
Really?
Apparently, that's where I went wrong.
Yeah, and you were like what 30?
Mm-hmm. I turned 30 about 3 weeks after he was he was born May 1st. I turned 30 June 25th.
And he's 16, 17 now.
17. Just turned.
It's funny how. That's like considered old in West Texas for having a kid.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean I know people that.
But it's way too young to be having an abortion.
Yeah. Oof. Not anymore. No more Texas abortions.
Dude, I drove when I had my car before it gave up and died. I drove around with a coat hanger on my rearview mirror.
Oh, nice. Just in case.
Just in case.
Because
what you're not ever going to do is stop abortion.
Before they started selling Plan B.
Mm-hmm.
This is my Plan B.
Remember when Sage Coffee House gave that away? And people were trying to call the cops and tell them to shut them down. They're funny. Like, we can't do that.
Oh, God. Not living in West Texas is the best.
Yeah, it's something.
I'm wanting to get out of here soon, but, why'd you never leave as an adult? I did. Well, okay, you went to...
Kansas.
Yeah. Wichita?
Wichita's
okay.
Wichita is basic, like, when I lived there anyway, which was right at the turn of the millennium.
Yeah. I've been to Wichita before, probably right around that time.
It was half the people that were there came from Lubbock.
That's fucking weird.
When I started interviewing for jobs,
I did notice that there was a lot of Texas transplants that would go up there. Huh, interesting.
So, I mean, the only reason I was there is because I had family that moved there from Lubbock.
So. We knew people from there. Like, there was a family we went to church with, and he was actually from Wichita. So, but
it's all right. It's it's a real pretty town.
Yeah,
especially for
not really on my radar for places to move. But hey, I mean, I'm looking at a few places right now. I'm possibly looking at El Paso. So I don't know. Because they got a good comedy scene there. I was talking to this dude Ben that
text you could potentially transfer.
Yeah, There is there is the Paul Foster School of Medicine, but it's part of the Texas Tech system. So but I don't know. I might stay in higher ed, but I don't know. So, but all right. So that's covered. So Baby Reindeer.
Reindeer. I meant to on Thursday night. I forgot because I was still kind of pissed off about Sunday, but when my husband did not go out of town.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So what were you thinking about the?
I meant to call everyone my reindeers, my little reindeers, all night, but
hey,
I forgot.
Baby.
Hi, baby reindeer.
It's so creepy, but I have a friend who, she said she just didn't like it. She's like, my hot take is, it's not a good show. And I'm like, well, you're wrong, Sandra. Because, I don't know, I think it occupies this, the same thing as like the murder documentaries. It goes deep into the psychology and the shame, because I watched the first episode, like when we recorded last time. I'd only seen the first episode.
Right.
I'm like, it's about a dude getting stalked by a chubby.
Yeah, then you meet
woman.
Darian.
And, yeah.
And you're like, oh, it is not all about Martha.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the girlfriend. What's her name?
The trans.
Is it Emily? The hottest trans chick I've ever seen. I'd suck her dick.
I've been
if she has one.
Like, I mean, that's, yeah, and I'm like, I don't know that actress.
No, I don't either. I didn't know
if they are actually trans.
I would assume so. I think at this point in time, if you have a trans character in a movie or TV show, you cast a trans actor. I think that's just how it is.
I hope so.
Euphoria had a character. The TV
just like
show,
we don't do brown face anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You
like
know?
if you're gonna, I mean.
But I love Short Circuit.
Oh goddamn, Short Circuit, yeah. Fisher Stevens. I don't know. I'm sure he's talked about the fact that he did, and not only Short Circuit, he was the star of Short Circuit 2.
Right.
This is a white actor. If you don't know who Fisher Stevens is, this is a white actor, white as fuck. They make him look Indian. And he goes, "Hello, son. How are you doing?" And I mean, that's as much as I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
it's fucking
that's
like
exactly what
he does. He sounds like Apu. Essentially, it's a live action Apu. But he's a very intelligent character. He's like a scientist. He's like a robotic scientist. So it's not, he's just the which they. I will argue for Apu all day. He's one of the most complex side characters in The Simpsons. I really hate the fact that I mean,
they had to get
there's
right
a
with
whole ass documentary that this comedian Hari Kondabolu made. So you can't do that in movies either.
Right.
I think basically in any movie or TV show, I don't even think they cast straight actors in gay parts anymore.
I hope not.
I mean, why not? I want to see Seth Rogen make out with a guy.
Okay, that's true. Well, with Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah. They cast,
it was Patrick Swayze,
Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo as drag queens.
And that's
about as far as they can go. Which is funny because that movie came out right around the same time as Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which was Guy Pearce. What's his name? The bad guy from Superman, Terrence Stamp. Not in Superman 2. He's one of the Kryptonians. Terrence Stamp is like this old trans woman, but does drag. And then Guy Pearce and I can't think of his name, but he plays Agent Smith in the Matrix movies. They're all three drag queens, and they're all straight. As far as I know, straight actors. But that's pretty funny.
I've never heard of that movie.
It's really good. It's fucking great. It's an Australian. It's an Australian comedy.
I do like
called Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Late 90s. A lot of really good indie Australian movies. And there's another one called Muriel's Wedding. That's one of the first big movies Toni Collette is in.
It's I've heard of this.
I love Toni Collette. She was kind of chubby. She's super skinny now. But she was kind of chubby and real cute in that one, so I liked it. But yeah, so with Baby Reindeer, well, let's talk about the first episode. He goes into a police station and says, "I need to report being stalked." Okay, that's a good beginning because you're like, okay, what's up with this? Because it makes you think that that's all it's going to be about.
Yeah,
and it goes so much deeper than that. So much deeper. In more ways than one.
Way too deep. That's the thing, like you were saying, somebody said it wasn't a good show. Andres was like, it just seems like punching down. And I was like, how can just your own experience be considered punching down? I don't...
What punching down, at Martha?
Yeah, because she's sick. I mean, she's
I don't
clearly
think so.
sick.
It's his story. I mean, I think it's okay. I mean, and I've seen pictures of the real Martha. I haven't watched any interviews with her. Yeah,
I haven't watched any.
I will at some point probably because I want to know. But I don't think that it's. I mean, she victimized him obviously, so he can tell.
Yeah, that's her story. I mean, it's not punching down. It's just what happened.
Not at all. And I mean, I'm surprised she would even come out and even say anything, considering how she's, you know, it's like, you did shit before this movie, obviously, you crazy
right,
lady.
like, if everything is true,
yeah,
as it is presented.
Sure, and I mean, artistic license, obviously.
Yeah.
But...
And that, so there's some controversy.
Yeah, let's talk about the show, and then we can talk about the controversy, because I just...
So
I'm still ruminating on the show. Do what?
We doing spoilers?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about spoilers. If somebody hasn't watched the show, they won't listen to this. So,
right.
What are we saying? No one's going to listen to this anyway. But
good thing we're recording.
Yeah, good thing we're recording. He's kind of a pathetic character.
I was going to ask, what did you think of his act?
He's kind of a pathetic character.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
like a bad prop comic.
Yeah, it was basically he's doing Carrot Top. He's doing Carrot Top.
And not well.
And no, not particularly. But then, you know, when he does like the Fringe Fest, which is great. Did you know Rainey did the Fringe Fest?
No.
Yeah, so basically what it is, I don't know how well they explained it in the show, but you know, he's doing the same show, the act, every single night, and that's when he meets Darian. Darian, is that right?
Yeah.
That's the name?
I don't know why that stuck out.
He's doing the same act, and then but the Fringe, you can do like a week or 2 weeks or a month, but basically you book a show, and it's a month-long comedy festival, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and they have Fringe Festivals in other parts, but it's like people doing just stand-up comedy, people doing like
I did hear Rainey talk
music,
about this.
like Fly the Conchords have done. Yeah, but Rainey did this like hip-hop Shakespeare thing, and I think he did it maybe in the 90s or early 2000s, and with a group of other guys, and they got insanely good reviews. I'm like, that's fucking amazing. I was like, do you have video of this? He's like, oh yeah. Like, I want to see that, dude. I want to see that so bad.
I want to see the August Wilson play he did.
Man, I was planning on going to Cincinnati, but
when
he was there earlier this year.
Like, I can't even think about that. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to Cincinnati.
Well, I have friends there.
I
have friends in Cincinnati, so I wanted to go and check it out and see what the comedy scene's like there too. But just wasn't able to make it happen. But so he does the Fringe, and then that was portrayed. I mean, he was working on the act, but one of my coworkers said, "Oh, you should watch it because it's about a stand-up." I'm like, "Yeah, not really.
Not really. It doesn't.
Not the kind of shit I do. It's not like the TV show Crashing that Pete Holmes did. That's about a stand-up. Like that's fucking great. I would recommend it. It's on HBO.
I should be taking notes.
Whatever. We're recording.
I've got it recorded.
So listen back.
So the first episode, I'm watching it, and I'm like, am I her? I could hear me saying some of the things that she was saying, like just like a comic stalker, like.
Well, you are a comic. You're part of the community.
Well, thank you. Yeah. That's still. I still have a hard time.
You were kind of hanging around for a while before you started doing it, but I mean, that's the problem. I think so many we have female comics that will come around. Like this woman, Alicia, there's this other one. I see her and her husband at the gym, and she's done stand-up a few times, like half a dozen maybe, at Lantern. Alicia's only done Lantern, and I've told them, I've invited them out to the other shows. And
I've seen Cameo there once.
Yeah, so Cameo was around a whole lot more, but I think the female comics just, they see this group of guys, and they're like, yeah, stand-up is mostly men. And it's so funny that, like, you know, Selena does hang out with some of us sometimes, but she's just not a super social person to begin with. Like, I mean, she'd rather be at home with her wife, I think, than hanging out with the comics and a bunch of dudes anyway that are just gonna fucking make dick jokes. So, which, I mean, I make fart jokes too. Well, you're a straight married woman.
True.
Mostly straight.
Mostly straight.
Mostly straight, except for that time in college. But, so, yeah.
I was in college for like 10 years.
It didn't really, I don't think the show really accurately depicted what stand-up is like at all. I mean, it was just a device.
Right.
He's
and
more of a
because you don't
comedy
see
writer than he is a
any-
stand-up.
You don't see any other comics really.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
he doesn't hang out. And if he's a comic, he'd be hanging out with other fucking comics.
Dude, if one of our comics was a bartender, that's where we would be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have a comic that's a fucking tattoo artist. A lot of us go to him,
Yeah. And speaking of, my bosses, she's talked to him about getting a cover-up, the one that grew up across the road.
Yeah, Red's good at cover-ups.
Yeah.
Red Giles, inked cultured.
Man, his Red stuff is incredible.
Yeah, no, he's good. He did the one we were talking about earlier.
Nice.
He designed that for me and put it on my arm. But why do you think you were like Martha though?
Well, just like when she's sitting there talking to him and being like, she says some things like that are like, if you don't want me around, you can tell me, I can take it or whatever, you know, and stuff like, and then just, I don't know, but
none of us are nice. None of us have been fingered in the butt by a TV writer. No. We all have the.
I mean, unless you were already planning to get ass fingered.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Not for nothing. If like a 25-year-old with gigantic titties was hanging around, we'd put up with a lot of shit from her. But you're one of us. I mean, you're
right.
You're
yeah, I do not have the titties to get to hang.
Let's not talk about your titties.
I'm so tired of hearing that.
Christ.
No, you're right. They're not. Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about mine. I'm trying to shrink them. Not gonna get that lift though.
If you go back to puberty and sleep on your stomach like this, I have a theory that it like just crushing your chest.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is that what the gymnast girls do?
I don't. Maybe
they're more nerds.
Maybe. But then by the end of the first episode, I was like, okay, she's kind of off the rails.
Yeah, I didn't identify with anybody enough in the first one because he just seems like a spineless pussy. Just like, come on, man.
When the guys are like egging him on.
But he's small. He's tall, but he looks like the kind of guys that every girl wants to fuck now. Like, I swear to God, I'll see, like, the hottest girls. I'm like, why are you with this guy with sunken in...
heroin addict look?
I don't think he's a handsome dude.
No.
But
maybe for UK.
Maybe for UK. Whereas the actress that he cast as Martha, not that bad. I mean, she's crazy. But she has big honking titties. I mean, come on. I'm just saying, the face is okay.
Like the picture that she gives him?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, she's got a fupa. I mean, I've done worse. I have done worse. I've done worse. As long as she's cleaned up, showered, freshly showered and everything.
Okay.
Although we do see Martha's apartment in the first one.
Yeah, and it's
it is gross.
Yeah.
They never really dwell on it. I assume Martha's probably a cat lady. Do you think Martha's a cat lady?
Oh. That's a good question. Because
they're the only ones that will give her affection.
Cats.
Do what?
She would have smelled like cats. Of
she
course,
would
you
have
can't
smelled
convey
of cats.
that in the movie, but
that's
but
a
it would
little
have been
too mean.
Easy. It would have been easy to add that, like cats just jumping off the counter.
Honestly, he didn't punch down. We don't go into Martha's personal life.
Yeah.
We only go into his interactions with her.
Right.
We don't know who she.
Yeah.
Like she has basically.
Much later, you get a little bit of information, but even that, it's not really about her.
Yeah.
Her or how she. See, if she was smart, the real lady. She would demand they do a sequel.
Yeah, she's like,
the backstory, the or prequel. Maybe,
that's a good idea. Maybe
a prequel.
Maybe
Martha.
She can do make Reindeer Mom. Reindeer Mom, Martha's story.
She does talk about how her childhood wasn't pleasant and her baby stuffed reindeer.
Fuck her. Yeah. I hate her. She's the worst.
Dude, I think Darian's a little bit worse.
Oh, well, Darian's pretty bad.
Darian
is not mentally unwell. He's just a drug addict.
True.
Who likes to finger guys' buttholes while they're asleep.
Or drugged. I mean, drugged.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I watched this. Darian tells him exactly what he's giving him.
Yeah.
He's not like
getting roofied, and
that almost seems so much worse. That like Donnie is like, okay, I know what's going to happen, and it gets worse. He's like, oh, he's fingering me. Now he's just plowing my butt.
Right, I wake up,
which is horrible.
And, yeah,
but it's just
but he feels like he's got to do that to get that modicum of success.
Yeah, exactly.
But it wasn't even much of a step up.
Do you think he wasn't getting paid? He was wasting, and then he lost his relationship with his pretty hot girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dynamic, living with the ex's mom, that was it seemed kind of unnecessary to bring up until you find out that he had to move and
then Martha fucked it up for him, and
and so
a lot of drugs in this show. It depicted it depicted a lot of really hazardous drug use, because when he's like doing coke and like fucking everybody in the bathroom stalls, and
Dude.
I didn't even
turns like there's a shift, and he's just like, look at all.
He fucks Martha, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Why does he fuck Martha?
Right?
He's like, I can't get off anymore.
He was trying to fuck Emily and couldn't get it up.
Yeah, that's true. Is that her name, Emily?
I don't know. I feel like
I can't remember either.
Yeah.
You know what? If only I had a pocket computer.
I know, right?
Right here that I can look up.
Like we're surrounded.
Yeah, I know. But keep talking.
But so he couldn't get it up and I was never really clear, and this is just my own ignorance, like what their sex would be like. I believe in the movie.
He'd fuck her up the butt.
He'd fuck her up the butt
or blow her. Terry. It's Terry.
Terry.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Her real name is Neva Mao. Wow. She's a filmmaker, actress, and cultural worker who has lived in Mexico City, San Antonio, and Oakland. Interesting. Oh. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well,
okay.
I look forward to seeing her in other things.
She's good. She's good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Good actress. I liked her. She was.
But so in the show, did she have a penis?
I was talking to one of my pansexual friends who has hooked up with trans people.
Heard.
And I was asking him. He's a cis male. So I was asking him. I was like, dude. So when you've hooked up with like a trans woman, like do you talk about like, okay, so when you take your pants off, are you gonna have a dick or not? And he's like, it's not a big deal, I don't fucking care. But I'm like, but I would. So when do you have that conversation?
You don't need to know.
Yeah, he's okay. His whole thing is, I'm okay, regardless.
Yeah.
But I think now, like I don't know for sure. I haven't done enough research, but within the trans community, I think a lot of they're moving towards the trans women. So like born a man but transition to a woman. Keep the dongs because it's
very expensive, probably.
And also it's not a perfect solution. It's not. So they're just like, I'm just going to keep this, and we're just going to have a workaround.
At least I can feel some pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, and some of them are like, no, I'm a lady. I just have a dick. I suck my fucking dick. I'm a lady. Seriously, that's like, that's like. Another comic friend has been talking to a trans girl, and he's straight up to this point. Has only been. With women. And I'm like, dude, and he's like, man, I don't know. She asked me to jerk her off one time, and I'm like, whoa, you should do it. You should do it. See if you like it or not.
Right?
But I don't know.
Man, that has to be wild.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
because I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
As a woman.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know what to expect with a cisgender person. Yeah.
Again, whether. You know?
Yeah.
Because, as everyone knows, every woman is just 1 drink away, 2 drinks away from being a lesbian, right?
Sure,
so, I mean, we'll work with whatever we're given.
Yeah.
I'm sure
dick, little dick, but
I'm sure
what if there's not a dick?
Vagina,
Yeah.
If there's,
okay, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But for a dude...
Yeah. And I think that is one thing about the show is it gets into the... Because he was never attracted to trans women until he had the
raped.
shit happen. Yeah, until the stuff happened with...
Darian.
With Darian. And then...
and then why did he go back to talk to Darian?
So we don't know. That's the thing. And I mean, are they going to do a season 2? Are they going to be like Baby Reindeer 2? Donnie,
adolescent reindeer.
You know, exactly. Yeah.
We'll just follow him throughout life and see how Richard Gadd turned out.
Exactly. You know,
or whatever, if that's his name.
Yeah, it's pretty. How that messes with the psychology, because I mean, I was never, fucked with as a kid or as an adult at this point.
I'm sorry, you were ugly, kid.
Yeah, no, I was such an unattractive... No, I was a cute kid. I just, wasn't around any child molesters. But,
well, I can't have everything.
Yeah, I was later when I got fat. I was like, maybe they'll like this if I chub up a little bit. Nope.
I look slower.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was the 80s, too. That was like prime time, for fucking and killing kids.
Right.
Adam Walsh. Come on!
Right?
Jesus.
You had to remind parents at 10 they had kids. Mm-hmm. Do you even know where your kids are?
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah. Do you know where your children are? Yeah, I'm riding my bike 2 miles away. Oh, God. Yeah. But yeah, it's, the psychology of it is the character of Donnie. You really kind of get into his psyche and what he's going through after he's been, victimized. I mean, we're making jokes about it, but I mean, it's pretty fucked up what happens to the poor guy. I mean, honestly...
That he allows to continue to happen. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, I think this is probably the worst thing that ever happened to any white guy. Baby Reindeer, the worst thing that ever happened to a white guy.
Even, dude, but, okay, so... This is what you were talking about, the psyche of Donnie, or Gadd is his last name. I think it's Richard, but
Richard Gadd, very British sounding name.
Yeah, and I think he's Scottish.
Oh yeah,
I said
Scottish.
UK earlier, but
I mean, Scotland is part of the UK.
Oh, okay.
So you're technically correct.
I'm educated at New Deal.
Oh yeah,
so
the town named after the thing Roosevelt did.
Yeah,
we got Post near here, which is named after the Post cereal guy. Did you know that? He's
not from here.
No, right? He's not from here, but he bought that town. So, because fucking West
CW
Texas
Post,
is weird as fuck. So, but yeah, he...
Okay, so this Richard Gadd dude, right? Yeah. Like, to me, that is what makes the show so compelling and why it is a good show.
Yeah.
Well, because, I mean, if it's half as intense, if it was all half as intense as it was portrayed.
Yeah.
That's a very vulnerable, raw story to put out there.
Yeah, exactly. In 7 episodes on Netflix.
Yeah.
And now everybody and their mom is watching the show
right now. And so...
Like, literally, I mean, I wouldn't have my mom watch it because she'd be like, what, men do that to other men? And I'm like, yeah, Mom. Yeah. I thought you knew a thing existed.
Yes, but anyhow.
Yeah. It's a pretty... Yeah,
I can't imagine putting that out there.
Yeah, it's a very personal story, and it does kind of suck that, like I was watching this video. This is why I didn't really want to talk about the real case.
Yeah.
Because I started watching a video earlier, and it's like, here are things that weren't really accurate on Baby Reindeer. And it said, like, Donnie had some real acting jobs and blah 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 before he met Darian. It's like, who the fuck cares? It's like it's like a little autistic child, like, but that wasn't white. It's like, who cares? Who cares? It's artistic license.
Yeah.
He can't make the show 15 episodes he had to cut things out and move things around. And that's why he calls himself Donnie Dunn in the show. It's not 100%. I know.
And he didn't use her real name.
Yeah, what is her name? Cunty McCuntface?
It's close. It's something like that.
Cunty O'Cutface. Cuntface.
Grabby McGrabster.
Yeah. Jeez, yeah. Yeah. It's funny that Martha is my mother's name.
Oh, really?
She doesn't go by Martha, though. She goes by her middle name, but... Yeah,
Martha is my dad's first wife's name.
I thought you were going to say Martha was your dad's name. And I'm like, oh...
Nope.
I thought you knew about trans people. Or didn't
Right?
know about trans dad? What?
Oh, I love that statement. That's just the sort of thing that would piss him off.
Oh shit! Let's do that. Let's have him on the podcast.
No.
Hey, Lori's dad, we're gonna piss you off for an hour, and then you can leave.
We could, 'cause, like, he and I don't talk to him.
Oh, okay.
But, so it would be interesting to just invite him and then sit here and just...
Who is this person inviting me to his apartment? And you're like, surprise, Dad, here's a microphone. Let's talk about some shit, fucker.
He's funny.
I mean, my dad was funny, too. He's very funny.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the real story. It's like when
right, it was
Captain Phillips,
story.
came out, and everybody's like, the real Captain Phillips was a piece of shit. I'm like, well, you know who is it? Tom Hanks.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he apparently drinks babies adrenochrome.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
but
he's a good guy.
Other than that, I mean, he's Mr. Rogers.
One of my favorite podcasts ever is called Dead Eyes. Did I ever tell you about this? Okay, so long story short. This actor, comedian, and I cannot think of his name right now. I'll look it up. But he's really funny. Look it up. Dead Eyes podcast. He was up for a role in Saving Private Ryan. He was cast in the role. They paid him. He was in England, and he got a call on, like, he was like about to go to set in a few days. And Tom Hanks was like going to direct the episode. No, not Saving. I think I said Saving Private Ryan. I meant Band of Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Band of Brothers show. He was going to be in the show, and they got a call and they said, "Sorry, Tom Hanks saw your audition tape, and he thinks you have dead eyes. So we're actually good. But you can keep the money. It's fine." And this guy has gone on to have a success, and he made a whole fucking podcast where Connor Ratliff, And he, long story short, because you don't have a lot of time on your hands, he interviews people other actors, other comedians, and he talks about Tom Hanks, and he loves Tom Hanks. He never at any point shits on Tom Hanks. He's just like, why is this? He gets so far. I was listening to an episode, I was driving to Colorado, and he got to interview Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son. And he's like, do you think your dad remembers this? He's like, no, I don't. But my dad is aware of your podcast. We have a group chat, a family group chat, where he fucking ends up getting Tom Hanks on there and asking him, do you remember 20-something years ago saying I have dead eyes?
Awesome.
And Tom's like, no, but I probably said it. I'm sorry.
It sounds like me.
Yeah, let's work together sometime. So it's so fucking cool that, Tom Hanks is a saint. But... So I don't care about the real... Heads. Yeah, exactly. Everybody should do what?
Suck babies' heads is what I said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, suck baby heads. Adrenochrome, fucking Pizzagate, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't care about the real case at all. I do not give a shit. Richard Gadd may be a total douche canoe. The real Martha may be a perfectly nice person. Probably not.
Probably.
But... I enjoyed it. It's a piece of entertainment. That's what he wanted to make. Yeah. And I was entertained by it.
And he got his name out. We're talking about him.
I think I'm gonna I hope he makes another season, because it kind of leaves it at a cliffhanger where he's going back to Darien. I mean, is there more to his story?
Right.
He's like, the poor decisions of Richard Gadd. I mean, that's basically what it should... Because I tweeted, I posted about it. It's like, this show is basically about when human empathy goes wrong.
Yeah.
It's like he was empathetic towards Martha, but then you find out why he let this woman do all this shit to him. Because he had such shame and everything.
It's like if he goes to the police, then...
Yeah, and he doesn't even tell him that he assaulted his trans girlfriend.
Right.
You know, which is fucked, you know. Yeah. Yeah. It's a wild story, and I really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the show, and it also gets people talking about shit like trauma and stuff. I mean, I don't always create the best boundaries within my friendships. Like, I'll do too much for people. I'm a people pleaser. I was talking to this...
Noted.
Fuck you. I'll never let you take advantage of me.
You wouldn't even give me your shirt.
That was my shirt. I mean, I had 2 shirts on, but I needed both of them.
Right.
So, no, I've been hanging out with this girl, and we're just friends for now. But,
the one we've discussed?
Yeah. So, but I mean, I think she knows that I'm,
interested in more.
Yeah. I mean, she's hot. But so we were talking yesterday about because we know some of the same people, and I was like, I'm just trying to create boundaries and stuff, and not let people like take advantage of me. When I'm a people pleaser. I talked to my counselor about that, and she's like, well, if you ever need to talk about it or whatever with me, let me know. And I'm like, oh, I'm talking to you about it right now. and she thought I was telling her that she was crossing a boundary. And she's like, oh my God, am I?
I'm doing this?
No, and I'm like, no, God, no. No, you can get all up on
harder.
Me. Yeah, no, you can take advantage of me all you want.
No boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. No. As long as those boundaries end up with her.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's
you need
it's funny though. No, it is funny though, because for me, I can put up with way more bullshit from a woman that I'm attracted to than I ever could a dude.
You're not special.
I know. That's what marriage is. It's like, oh, do you sometimes like suck his dick and stuff? Oh yeah, he'll put up with a lot more bullshit.
Yes.
But you just have to time it right. If you stop sucking the dick, then... But I mean, women have to put up with bullshit for men too. So
sometimes they say they're going to be out of town, and then
they fucking don't know how to. It's funny. I was going to tell you this after. Or is there any more you wanted to say about Baby Reindeer?
Not that I can think of.
Okay,
I've been trying to think of other stuff to say about it.
So this is hilarious. So he shows up 4 minutes late for his flight.
Yeah.
Okay, so does he fly very often?
No.
No, me neither. Okay.
Yeah.
So I went on a business trip about a year and a half ago. And I get to the airport before all my coworkers. And I go in, and it's been, other time I've flown, I've been with like a friend or my ex-wife or somebody that has done it more than I have. So, and they're...
You just kind of follow.
So I just go in to the American Airlines thing. I give them my bag, and they like weigh it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, that'll be whatever. And I'm like... They'll be $30. I'm like, okay, I guess I have to pay to whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I accidentally checked my bag. I just wanted to carry on. And I'm like, because I never fucking fly. Luckily, it made it to Portland, Oregon. So we had a layover in Phoenix.
$30.
Exactly.
You cannot have anything you need.
It was a work trip, and I got reimbursed for the to check my bag. But I was like, why the fuck did I do that? I flew again a couple months ago, the end of February. We went to New Orleans, and I'm like, don't be a dumbass this time.
Right?
Do not give anyone your bag.
Yeah.
So,
he had a carry-on, and then he had
I am a dumbass in the airport too. So
well, thank you. It is good to know that it's.
I never fly.
When he called me to ask me to rent him a car from the airport to Fayetteville, is when I was like.
So what did he tell?
Don't
work.
I'm like, you are one of the smartest people I have ever met. What is happening right now?
There's just a lack of common sense.
Have I made you dumber?
No, it's just different social situations.
He was very stressed about starting a new job. I mean, it's just that's.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.